So yes, reading, writing, doing your own research.
That extra layer of scrutiny that would go into a copy. I think that is not there anymore. The future of jobs.
The AI still cannot do, the whole ethical writing, understanding the context.
AI is not replacing jobs.
How much of that has changed in the present scenario?
Where you apply your thinking, your critical thinking, your analysis.
We don't just need regulations, we need strict guardrails.
How feasible or how advisable it is to be able to start your own business? Dive into what are the changes and how things we have been doing in the past. So one thing that I would like to sort of ask of my family today is, what are the things that they started their careers with and which are not there anymore? Elements or ways of doing things which were there in journalism when they started as beginners, and which are absolutely missing now. So Pooja, I'll start with you.
I think, hi everyone. Welcome to this new era of journalism. You guys are going to be the next budding journalists, and someday, we're going to sit and be reading or looking at the news you guys are producing. So, wish you all the very best for that, and we look forward to that day. From where we started, a lot has changed. I think when I started, we used to write handwritten notes. Any celebrity we saw, any new scores being made in cricket, we used to keep our notes ready as a reference. That someday we would need that, because internet wasn't that prevalent, so everybody had to do that manually, and also rely on your minds to remember that data. I think a lot has changed. Things are easier with the newer tools and technology now. So yes, reading, writing, doing your own research. So those were the things which I think a lot of the youngsters coming in now are not. They don't have to really do that. It's like available at the click of a button. You don't need to create your own notes and keep them for file them and keep those paper cuttings anymore.
How do you see the future of jobs? It's a very important question in today's time.
So these jobs, transcription, translation, SEO optimization, and many others, like I was saying, analytics, these were already on the way to being replaced. So what AI has done is, it has only fastened that process. The second point is that, the future is not human, the future is not AI, the future is AI plus human. And I think, AI will not take away your job, but a person who learns how to use AI, how to optimize his work using AI, that person will take your job. So it's not, don't see AI as, a competition, but learn to dance with AI.
How is AI going to change that news gathering bit? Because news gathering was the critical part of the news organization, because you said we have a network of reporters spread across the country. They're getting us on the ground details of what's happening there. Of course, the technology of cameras has improved. The live broadcast systems have improved. But the reporter who's there on the ground, especially a reporter who's doing an investigative report, who is probably underground working, bringing into something which AI was, or technology was not able to do earlier. How much of that has changed in the present scenario?
So, you see, news gathering, sadly, because I worked across newsrooms, and I feel most publications are now not investing so much on news gathering, because news, with this coming of social media influencers, everybody has mobiles and everybody has cameras on the go, and from anywhere people can report news. So people, larger organizations are not spending so much on news gathering. So the ground reporting, as to my experience, is like going down. So the most of us are working with freelancers now. Everybody has a network of freelancers, and except maybe bureau leads, and otherwise everybody is working with a huge network of freelancers. who are journalists on the go, and they are supplying news to most publications.
How do students use technology while sitting on these mountains of data and backstories and go forward? So, what is the mechanism to be able to use your mind, your very human mind, in a way which integrates and makes your dance with AI much better? So, elaborate on that, please.
Yeah, I think recently we had an example of a story that was totally fake. It was created using ChatGPT. The sources that it mentioned, they looked, uh, they looked very real. But when people fact checkers, tried to find out, these people didn't exist at all. There were other people with that name, but they had different portfolios. So this entire story, it was published. I don't remember the name right now. It was published in an international website, and that entire story was bogus, created from scratch by ChatGPT, and it had no relevance. It had no sources. All the sources, all the information, all the quotes. That is the backbone of journalism, right? That was not there. That was not real. So this is one example. Another example is that of a lawyer fighting in a court case. The audacity you can see on the basis of a relevant case pulled out from ChatGPT. And when somebody, who was a thinker in the courtroom, when they cross-checked that whole case, they saw it was totally fake. So this person didn't even bother to cross-check, right? And he was supposed to be a lawyer, talking about a case and giving some old examples from some other case, because these cases matter a lot, right? If you have a relevance from other case, decision can go your way. And he totally, either he was trying to fool the judge or ChatGPT made a total fool out of him.
So, at the end, it's the human agency which sort of.
Exactly. Everywhere. Your first draft can be AI, not your last draft. Your first transcription copy can be AI, not your last copy. You have to have that human in the loop. There's a concept called human in the loop. At all the stages, this human has to be there, guiding the AI, not the other way around. We don't let AI to take control of what we do. We keep it under control all the time. Whether it is through initial research, like I was saying, even if you have found out the data, you've done the data mining using data wrapper, you don't just leave it there, you cross-check. And now there are tools which pull out sources also, and they can take you to the exact position in the data pile up, where you can go and cross-check that. So that we don't just need regulations, we need strict guardrails. We don't just need self-regulation, we need strict guardrails when it comes to AI. And coming to the newsroom, how the integration should happen, first of all, there should be a framework where all you will allow this AI. Will you allow it to give data about your sources? Because there's a thing called anonymity, right? Your source can be sometimes anonymous. We change names all the time, right? You must have read news where they say name changed. Why? Because there are sensitive issues. It may be a court case, it may be a murder case, it may be a rape case, where you don't reveal the name of the person. But if you give that information to AI, how do you control it? That information is already gone to LLM, and you would know these days the search doesn't happen through just Google. It happens through Perplexity, right? And Indonesia and India, around 70% of information, searching information is done through Perplexity now. That is why, in my workshops, I talk about SEO is obsolete, we need AIO now. You have to optimize for the AI generated content and AI search methodologies, right? So human has to be there at all the steps, doing what it has already or always done, fact checking.
how feasible or how advisable it is to be able to start your own business with a business model in place, maybe small, and gradually you grow. Transparency is a big part of any media sort of enterprise. Being truthful is another, because trust is important, and people, whatever your content area can be, if it's sports or it's music or anything, you have to build trust over a period of time. So, how do you begin on that entrepreneurial journey?
I think it is very, very doable in today's day and age. Whatever you produce, you have to bring in a certain credibility to the content. There has to be authenticity. Like Shakur said, if you're using AI, at least large media organizations, the difference is you would trust that information which maybe a Times Group's putting up or a HT's putting up more than what an influencer is putting up, because there is a credibility that they've built over the years with the brand. There's a certain brand association and credibility. But having said that, even influencers can build that, but you have to be honest. Your voice has to be honest. If you whatever AI generated content or you putting, you have to say it. Okay, this is how I generated this content. These are the tools I've used, and these were my sources. And you have to find your niche. Okay. Also, you have to realize you're competing with a lot of people who've been there before you, and the larger organizations doing the same thing. So you have to find your niche and work on that, and that there is scope for going solo and doing this and becoming entrepreneurs. And that's how the entrepreneurs earlier have started. Like, good point is news and shorts. So that news was there, and when he started, he came and tied up with all the big newsrooms. So there was authenticity to the news. He just changed the format of giving that news. We all know the valuation he got and how well that platform has done. Almost everybody at some point had consumed that news and shorts. So I think that there is still a lot of scope, a lot of new inventions are still waiting to happen, and maybe the next one will come from this room.
Even new areas of
New areas coming up, yes.
Shakur.
I think certainly, why not? If you are the next Nas Daily, why not give it a try? If you are the next Dhruv Rathi, why not give it a try? Right? If you have it in you, you can be a solopreneur. You have command over your research and your delivery, and you can reach out to larger masses. You can be relevant to them in a language that they best understand. Right? Please go ahead. And if you are holding the fundamentals of journalism, being a solopreneur, than being a part of a newsroom, then it's most welcome, right? We want journalism to live, and if it lives through what media it lives through, that doesn't matter. I think more YouTubers are doing better journalism right now than many of us working for newsrooms. So think it like that this is a new platform, this is a new way of disseminating news, and make the most of it. You have direct access. You don't have anyone in between, right? Nobody is cutting your feed, right? Nobody is gagging you. Nobody's business models are coming in between. It's your business model. You do it. You curate it the way you want. You be the king here, right? As long as you're doing justice to the fundamentals of journalism, even as a content creator, I don't mind. You're most welcome to do that.